the conditionings by society have the hidden agenda to gaslight you. Now you may say, Rashid, this goes too far. And I understand that you say that goes too far. But just think about it. Society conditions you in such a way that you would get along with its expectations without questioning them. Society doesn't operate on multiple choice nor on multiple perspectives. You are conditioned to think one certain way, and you are terrified to think another way, due to the threat of social exclusion. So society is a cult. Now, for people to get along, they need to have common agreements. We understand that. Or else, how are you going to use infrastructure if people can't agree which side of the road you ought to travel upon? If everyone travels on either side of the road, we will have a lot of accidents, things will go wrong. The use of currency. If you use euros, now come with British pounds and other comes with Swedish crowns, it's going to become a mess, right? So that people are, let's say that the people are conditioned into common agreements, there's nothing wrong with that in itself. But look beyond those agreements. What's the context of those agreements? You are conditioned to get along with a pyramid structure, which is a homosexual hierarchy. That is what you are conditioned into, because those at the top of that hierarchy are sodomites who worship demons. But they don't tell you this openly. So it's a hidden agenda. So you are being gaslighted. So how do you realize that you've been gaslighted? First of all, you've been conditioned by society, so you've been gaslighted anyway, since childhood. Your parents were gaslighted also, but either they're not aware of it or they don't want to face it, but we've all been gaslighted, some more than others. And there is one sign that you've been gaslighted that many don't notice. I'm going to give an example. You are on the road. Ben, who's a guy, is driving the car. And Ben is always a man that smiles, a man that's at ease, at peace. That's how he always has been. And you guys know Ben for years. Then suddenly, there is this goose that crosses the street out of nowhere, and Ben needs to put his feet on the brakes to stop the car. He's a bit shocked. But this time that he's shocked, he spits out a lot of venom and hatred and ill will towards the goose in a very, very vile and spiteful manner. Everyone now in the car, including you, are shocked. But afterwards, things continue as usual. Ben is very kind, polite, with a lot of sympathy again. Weeks pass by. Every time you see Ben, you feel confused. What happened there? You've been gaslighted. Look, under shock, we don't behave as we normally would. If you are walking down the street and suddenly there are two pit bulls coming at you to jump on you, you don't respond in a very calm and relaxed way. Why? Because there is danger, so you respond in a shocking way. That's understandable. But this wasn't a life-threatening case in which this Ben was about to lose his life. Okay, there was a goose crossing the street suddenly, but that's not a very dangerous situation. Well, this is dangerous for the goose, but the people there were fine. And of course, he's a bit shocked that suddenly a goose crossed the street. But what came out of him was very vile and bitter. And the people around, they don't know this bitter Ben, because they never experienced this bitter side of him. Now, Ben himself was not aware, but the moment he went into that shock, he revealed who he really was. He kept up a front all the time just to have a job and to have people that want to be around him. This Ben, in reality, was a malignant narcissist who wished harm on others when he was frustrated because he never wants to face himself. And he always made sure that he remained covert because he realized that if he walked around demanding things from people and attacking people like that, he would end up in jail, and he doesn't want that. He wanted to have a normal, comfortable existence as society offers. So he learned to put on a mask and to trick others. But that mask slipped off for like a half a minute. The people around are used to this calm, stable guy called Ben. So now they've seen him cursing out. I'm not talking about using swear words here. Really, to create harm on a goose. Even though such things happen often, that goose or dogs cross suddenly. It's the mere fact that this Ben couldn't handle the fact that his will was frustrated that it was scared people. But because Ben, who wasn't aware that his mask slipped, continued with his act, people couldn't put a finger on what was going on. What happened here? The people were gaslighted all the time. It's when the real Ben, well, real Ben, but let me say you get what I'm saying. When Ben's mask slipped and they got a glimpse of how he really is, it's then that they sensed danger. They sensed as if they were scammed, and that's correct. So the feeling that you've been scammed is the result when a mask slips. And this feeling that you've been scammed is a sign that you've been gaslighted. Now, people can feel cheated on without anything like that happening. Such are people that need professional help. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about when you've been lied to, and suddenly the lie is exposed for a few seconds, and now you're in complete shock thinking, is this it? How can this be? That's a sign you've been gaslighted. What's the purpose of gaslighting? To make you question yourself. Look, there's a difference between self-reflection and self-condemnation. What gaslighting does is that it causes you to question yourself, which leads to self-condemnation. And once you operate in self-condemnation, you're not able to perceive things as they are anymore. So gaslighting is to blur your perception, so you won't be able to discern or process things properly. So gaslighting is both a mental as well as a physical assault. Why do I say physical? Because when you're being gaslighted, it affects your brain. It rewires your brain in a dysfunctional manner. So it's a physical assault. The same as if someone would punch you in the face, or if someone would shoot you down. It's a physical assault. But no physical weapon is used. Just words or symbols or body language, but it's still a physical assault, was eventually that the mental assault works out in your physical body. Gaslighting can make you sick. Gaslighting can cause terminal illness. Gaslighting can cause sleeping problems. Gaslighting can cause eating disorders. Gaslighting can cause a lot of stuff. One form of gaslighting is when someone blames you for how they feel towards you. When someone can't stand you, it is because they have expectations that aren't met. Instead of them checking themselves and seeking deliverance, they project it onto you. They can't stand you, so now you need to know it so that they don't have to face you. So they project whatever it is they don't want to face about themselves onto you, and now they want you to carry that load so that they are left alone. So now you need to avoid them. Now you shouldn't be you around them because they can't stand you. So now they are threatening you so they are at ease. That's gaslighting. So this whole idea that at least people don't talk about you behind your back, at least they say to your face, you shouldn't be happy with that. They shouldn't project negatively on you anyway, whether it's behind your back or into your face. In both cases, it's gaslighting. If you do it behind your back, it doesn't harm you directly. If you do it to your face, it harms you directly because they are dumping their trash on you to be relieved. And that is wrong. So, when people are direct and open with their hostility, they're doing evil. They shouldn't be honored for it. So that's gaslighting. But you also have gaslighting where people don't project their trash onto you, but they trick you into giving validation to them anyway, whether it's positive validation or negative validation. In both cases, you are being gaslighted. So stop praising people who are open and direct with their trash, because there's nothing honest nor honorable about it. It's gaslighting. Look, if you've been gaslighted, we all have been gaslighted by society. So I'm not talking about that, because that will be obvious to you once you live a bit longer. But if you've been particularly gaslighted by people around you, just realize it is because they want to avoid something. And they're so focused only on themselves that they think it's justified to harm you directly or indirectly for the attention to be removed from them. Because they don't want attention to be on them. Because once the public attention is on them, they are exposed. So to avoid exposure, they will put you in a negative daylight, or they will trick you into self-condemnation. So if you ever feel as if you've been scammed, but you can't really explain what it is that you've been robbed from, you have been gaslighted. So that discomfort that you feel, that you can't really explain, that's what it is. You've been gaslighted. The fact that you feel this shows that the spell is about to break. So don't be sad about it. Don't blame yourself. Don't be ashamed. The spell is about to be broken. That's why you feel this weird, how do I say it? You feel this weird discomfort that you can't explain. You've been gaslighted. What do you do now? Acknowledge it. And be willing to face the facts, no matter how painful they are. You may need your time to process them and to digest it. Take your time. Don't rush it, but at least acknowledge that you have been scammed. People that become abusive, people that become predators, they do not want to face anything. They don't want to process anything. That's why their only way out is to project and dump frustration and bitterness on others. So they are playing the victim. They see themselves as victims, even though they are far from being a victim. They are the victimizers. That's why they always have the reason for what they're doing. So it's not only the targets of their frustrations that are, how do I say, it's not only their targets that may be in denial. They are in denial themselves. And their denial goes very deep. So, just understand that just being transparent with facts and feelings all the time, that's not honesty. The world calls it honesty, but it's not. True honesty is examining the situation, looking at the bigger picture, and taking actions to preserve both the safety and sanity of both yourself and those around you. That's honesty. But in the world, you will seldom encounter this. When someone is direct and open with what they want, it's because they want relief. They don't want to get along. They don't want to process things. They don't want to deal with difficulty. They just want to be left alone. So they dump their frustration out there and expect you to take it, and so that they are left alone. They're gaslighting you. They're not being honest. Stop saying at least they're honest. They're gaslighting you. It's a mental and physical assault. That's what it is. So, you can be healed from gaslighting. You can recover. It is possible. Just go through the healing process, no matter how shocking or painful it is. Some of you have a lot to process. Well, process it. There are no quick fixes in deliverance. Let me repeat that. There are no quick fixes in deliverance. Okay? So, agree with Christ. He's loyal, he's faithful. Be at peace.